in touch with myself, Charlene Smith and Pippa Monique, and we saw a big performance from Arsenal where they took on Liverpool at Wembley Stadium in the Community Sheild. Now, the full-time result was 1-1, but Arsenal won 5-4 on penalties. Now, Pippa, people will say, what's the big excitement? It's only a Community Sheild. But for me, I'm saying a win is a win. Silverware is silverware. What are you saying about the win?
No, it's true. I can see both. Like, I can see both sides to it. Like, because obviously before the game, even during the game, I was like, this is just a glorified friendly. I've never really seen the big hype about the Community Shield. I don't know why in England we're like that, because when you've got the Super Cup and the other Super Cups in Spain and Italy, it's a big deal. We never see it as a big deal over here, and I'm not sure why. Even like in the game, I thought, even if we score, I'm not going to celebrate, because it's just, I'm going to celebrate, I'm going to applaud, but I'm not going to go mad. But then I saw Aubameyang's goal and I could not help but go mad, like we won the Champions League. Like, but in on the other side of things, when you win things, no matter how big or how small, it's a great achievement. And for a club like Arsenal that's been on the down for so many years, to win 2 things in the space of a month, it's a big deal. Obviously, other clubs are going to have their say about it, because, you know, we haven't got into the top 4. We haven't won the league in years. We haven't won the Champions League ever, whatever. But we just won 2 things in one of our worst ever seasons. And if we want to be excited about that, then we will.
And I mean, the opposition wasn't an easy opposition. I mean, it was Liverpool, and they put out their strongest side as well. So doesn't that make it an even bigger achievement?
Definitely. Their strongest side, bar Nico Williams. Sorry, Nico. But like, obviously, every other player was a starting 11 player. That's their strongest side. When we saw the starting lineups before, right, it's going to be a long day. But then when we set up and kicked off, we looked organised. We looked well. We was passing and moving the ball well. And I was really impressed by how we played. And to beat Liverpool, the giants that they are at the moment, you know, not many teams have beaten them in the last 2 years. So for us to beat them twice in the space of a month again in the league and now in the Community Shield is a big deal. This is not an easy opposition.
And when you saw our lineup, what was your initial reaction? Because I felt a bit nervous, thinking, "Oh, that ain't looking very, very solid."
I wasn't surprised at all. In my match preview, I said that we would see a lot of youngsters in there. I said that we weren't going to put out our strongest side. I knew from the jump Arteta wouldn't do that. But I say it's not our strongest side, but it was a very strong performance from all of those guys. I expected to see Reece Nelson start. The only difference was I expected to see Reece and Joe start. That's the only place I was wrong. But I expected to see. I knew Eddie was going to play in the middle. I knew Elneny would come into play. I wasn't sure though, but judging by the MK Dons performance, and he done really well. And people always get onto him because under Wenger, you know, they didn't enjoy the way he moved the ball around in the midfield. They didn't think he was the answer in the midfield, but he's done well in his first 2 games back in an Arsenal shirt, so we can't really complain.
We also saw Martinez in goal. I mean, we do know that Bernd Leno is now fit. He played in the MK Dons game. Mm-hmm. What is your take on this whole goalkeeping situation? Do we keep Martinez or do we get Leno back in?
Worrying times for Leno. I mean, it was great to see such a huge smile on his face at the final whistle and during all the celebrations and in all the pictures, because I was looking at his reaction and everything, because I'm thinking, low-key, you must be burning inside, because as much as he's your teammate, the last thing you want to do is be competing against your teammates. There's only one spot for a goalkeeper. If it's like a midfielder role, there's at least 2 or 3 spots for a midfield role, and you could probably both get a chance. But as a goalkeeper, there's only one place to get it. So it's a really horrible situation for Martinez and Leno to be in. For them personally, for fans, it's great. We've got 2 great goalkeepers to choose between. But I genuinely feel like Arteta's swaying more to the Martinez side, and they both got that you know, let's say Spanish connection. It could be a bit of favoritism, and rightly so. Martinez has been great in goal. Like, he's hardly conceded any goals. His ball, the way he just controls the game well. You're calm at the back. When Leno plays out from the back, it's a bit worrying, right? But the way Martinez plays out from the back is what you want to see from your goalkeeper.
And I mean, when you have got a goalkeeper that is playing with that confidence, surely that just pushes through up the field throughout the rest of the players as well.
Look how well those defenders played. I mean, everybody praised the defenders in that game. David Luiz looks like a boss. Kieran Tierney looked like a boss. Rob Holding looked like a boss. And that's all coming from the confidence that the goalkeeper has in them and they have in the goalkeeper. And that whole back line is communicating well. And it's a great combination. And when you have a good goalkeeper that communicates well, that gets rid of the ball well, you know, your defense is going to be good. And the team all round is going to be great. I don't think anyone realizes how important a goalkeeper is.
No, I definitely do. And I mean, we have had defensive issues. So now to sort of feel like, all right, we have we are sorting that problem, to then shake it up by, you know, changing the goalkeeper. What's it going to do?
I don't know, because even no matter who they change the goalkeeper to, is both great options. Very great options. But I think it will be Martinez that we'll see more often. And that's such a shame for Leno. He's got his international call up recently as well. And let's not forget what Leno's done for us last season. He's kept us from him and Aubameyang alone. Those two players, one at the front, one at the back, they've both kept us from finishing 15th, 17th or whatever. People may say I'm exaggerating, but the games that that he saved goals in and the games that Aubameyang scored all those goals in, they've both saved us. I know we finished 8th, but trust me, it could have been worse.
Right, moving on to the right back, Hector Bellerin. So there has been, you know, links with him potentially moving to Inter Milan. How would you feel if that deal was to go through and we were to lose him?
I don't know how I feel about this one. He's an Arsenal boy, man, through and through from the academy days, and then it was such a great moment for fans to see him get his first team call up, and when he was at that FA Cup final where he was just not on the bench but behind with the players that were not involved in the game, but he was celebrating like he was on the pitch, and then the following year he won his own one. So he's an Arsenal boy. We've seen him grow up. We've seen all the 10,000 different hairstyles and the fashion trends that he's been through, and he's grown as a player, and unfortunately he's had the ACL injury that he had, but I mean, obviously it's a business at the end of the day as well. As much as it's, to us, it's a club, to the club, it's a business. And they need to make money to bring new players in. They want to start afresh and really build Arsenal up to be a competing side again. And if that's a player that they feel they need to get rid of, which is worrying because MaitlandNiles is the other one in that same position. Apparently MaitlandNiles is the right back, even though he says himself he's a midfielder. It's a bit worrying to see who would replace Bellerin. Inter Milan's a great club for him to go to, but where does that leave Arsenal in that position?
I mean, it was a great performance from Bellerin as well. Did you see him nutmeg Mane?
Of course I saw that. Mane got mugged off yesterday. Rob Holding had him up, and then Bellerin, Mane must have just left hanging his head in shame, man, because I know these men cuss Arsenal, you know. I know when they're chilling with their boys and on their group chats, they're cussing Arsenal, saying Arsenal are dead. But then you got nutmeg by Bellerin. Are you all right? Are you okay? Is everything okay?
Ainsley Maitland-Niles, so he was linked with a move to Wolverhampton. I am hearing now that deal could potentially be off. I mean, how would you feel? And that's a player that I know that you really like.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be off now, because I think the main deal was going to be Maitland-Niles to Wolves, and then we'll get Matt Doherty, but now he's gone to Spurs, so where does that leave Wolves and where does that leave Arsenal? And now that Maitland-Niles has had so many impressive performances in recent times and got the England international call up, Wolves can't afford him. Sorry, you can't afford him. Sorry, they can't. They're going to get priced out. Arsenal have to price him out. He can't go, and we shouldn't let him go either.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one as well. I mean, he could play in different positions. I mean, we need a player like that.
Yeah.
Do you think now we might potentially be, if he does stay at Arsenal, perhaps see him on the starting as opposed to being subbed on?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, he's been one of the key players in all the games at Wembley, the semi-final against Man City, the final against Chelsea, and now this game against Liverpool. He's played those games, one man match in the Community Sheild, and he is a first-team player in my eyes, 100%.
So there's been talks about Partey, you know, coming to Arsenal. What is your take on that? Is that a player that you really want to see come in? Are you excited by him?
I'm excited at the prospect of any good midfielder. I love a midfield player, and even though I'm enjoying the players we have at the moment, the likes of Dani Ceballos, the flair he has, Xhaka bossing it at the moment, even Elneny coming in looking good. Torreira, I love Torreira, but obviously not obvious, but you know, there's been so many rumours that he's on his way out. I mean, it'll be great if we can get Partey in, but I don't think we can afford him, and I don't think that deal's going to happen. I want it to, though. I want to be wrong, and by the end of the transfer window, we hear that he's signed for Arsenal. But at the moment, we're not hearing anyone signing for Arsenal, not even our current players. So how are we getting Partey if we can't even sign Aubameyang and he's already an Arsenal player? Like how?
And there's also Gabriel, he did come for a medical. Well, what's the update on that? We want to know.
I want to know. I'm ready. I'm ready and waiting. I even thought I saw him yesterday driving in a whip. I thought that was him in the white whip that was behind us. It looked like him. I'm thinking, wow, Gabriel's in London. But I don't know. I couldn't tell. The tints were too dark, but it kind of looked like him. And I've seen his Instagram post. He looks like he's in a London home. Like, if he's here, what are we waiting for? What are the media team doing? What are the publicists doing? What is the club doing? What is the wait for? We all know it's happening, so just announce it.
It's the same way we're waiting for Aubameyang. It feels like it's been months that we've been waiting for him.
It has been months.
Yeah, since the end of the project restart. Literally. Well, who knows? Hopefully next week. It's like every week we just keep having that hope of, okay, it'll be next week.
Monday, next Friday.
With our attack, is there anything that you feel we need to sharpen up on?
Well, I don't know if we need to sharpen up, but Eddie Nketiah definitely does. I love that boy. I love how he plays. I love the positions that he gets into, but mate, does he need to finish on? He's finishing. He needs to. I don't like to get onto these young players, and is it even fair to call him a young player anymore? I know he is young, but when Raheem Sterling was this age, he was coming into. They're not in the same position, but they're both forward attacking players, and he was firing in goals. Marcus Rashford's only a year older than him. Marcus Rashford fires in goals. We like to do this thing. Oh, he's young. He's inexperienced. He's not. He's been on loan spells. He's been at Arsenal for years. This is his time to shine. He really should be taking the opportunity to show what he's made of, and he should be finishing chances like that in the Community Sheild.
So what would you say that now Eddie Nketiah needs in order to be getting them finishes?
The last thing I think he needs is another loan deal, because how many more loan deals do you really want? But I think that's probably going to be the next move. I could be wrong though, but I tend to see something in him that I think a lot of fans don't. I don't feel like a lot of fans think he's matured enough to be that front runner. We don't see that maturity in his style of play. But Arteta sees something, because honestly, when Lacazette's even in that squad, he still picks Eddie over Lacazette. So there's something behind the scenes that we don't know, probably something in training that we don't see that Arteta does. So he probably won't go on another loan spell. It'll probably be just us having to put our faith and trust in him that he'll finish his chances.
Eventually, in time.
Yeah.
So we didn't see Lacazette on the lineup or on the bench. Talks are that he wasn't match fit. Do you think that's true? Do you think he could potentially be out?
I don't know what's going on, because they said the same with Pepe. They said that they were in quarantine. Apparently they both travelled or something. I don't know how true that is. Aubameyang travelled. He's not in quarantine. We all saw Aubameyang travelled. But, but the thing with Aubameyang is we saw that he was with his family in a home. So maybe that's why. We don't know what Lacazette and Pepe got up to when they were travelling. I don't know if they travelled. This is the rumour. But then on the other side of things, you'll look at that and think, there's rumours that he's linked to Juventus. There's rumours that he's linked on his way out of Arsenal. He was not in the squad for MK Dons. He's not in the squad for the Community Sheild. Possibly is going. And that's a player that I don't think we should get rid of. But who am I to say? Who am I to know what goes on who am I to know what's in the 5-year process for Arsenal? They've probably got a 5-year plan of where they want to be, how they're going to get back in Champions League, how they're going to win the league. These are plans that a club like Arsenal should have, and I'm sure they do have in place. And maybe they don't see Lacazette as part of that plan, which is surprising to me, but I think he's a great player.
Especially with the way he links up with Aubameyang, them two on the pitch together, that little connection they got going on.
Yeah.
It will be missed.
It will, definitely.
So if we look at the Liverpool side, they were missing Trent Alexander-Arnold, who picked up an injury in their pre-season game. Friendly, sorry. What did you make of their performance overall?
I don't know how to make their performance, I don't know how to put my finger on it. Like they were giving us a good battle, especially after the 30th minute. I feel like, no, do you know what it is? First half, I feel like Arsenal was dominating the whole first half. Second half, they really came out of third gear. After the Minamino goal, they went into fourth gear, and I thought, do you know what? It's going to be peak. It's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool, because they were really giving it. And Minamino really changed that style of play for them. He was the runs he was making, He's proper rapid, isn't he? Like proper quick. Even when he does a little, where he shapes his body, he's quick with it. Like it's like watching a flipping cartoon character. Yeah, he's gone. So yeah, he really changed their style of play. I don't know how to put my finger on their performance. They definitely gave it their best, I think. But yeah, man, it just wasn't their day.
You could just see in Klopp's face as well, the way he was just like shocked, like, is this really happening?
You know what I loved about Klopp's face when Aubameyang scored that wonderful goal? He just smiled in appreciation, because obviously he knows what Aubameyang's about. He's managed him before. He's seen him do that in training. He's seen him do it in matches underneath him. And he probably just thought, that's my boy. That's my Pierre. What more can you say? You can't be mad at that goal. He literally was nodding and smiling in appreciation, because he knows that's what Pierre does. He probably wasn't mad at his team. He's probably thinking, that's Pierre. You can't stop those. You can't stop those type of goals.
So obviously getting this win now obviously puts us in a good high spirit. How do you think we'll start the season?
Hopefully with a win against Fulham, that's for sure. That would be typical Arsenal, to win 2 trophies and start the season with flipping 1 loss to Fulham. But yeah, I hope we start the season strong. Obviously, we've got Liverpool again. I think it's the 3rd game in. These are games that we really, really need to put performances like that in. Even if it is a draw, I wouldn't want a draw in the 3rd game. I'd want to beat them again. So I just really hope that, Arteta does what he does tactically, picks the right teams, knows the right formations against different teams. Because I think, if you notice, against Liverpool in the league, we played that same 3-4-3 and we let them hold on to the possession in the league game. And we did the same in the Community Sheild. So it's like he knows how to come up against different opponents. So yeah. And if you really pay attention, after the restart, we didn't lose many games. I know there was the one against flipping Spurs that was painful, and the draw, I think it was a draw against Leicester, but it feels like a loss. But most of the performance after the restart were very good performances from Arsenal. So it's just that we started doing that good performance too late into the season. So if we started the season how we ended last season and carry that on, who's to say we can't finish top 4? That's not a myth. And there's other teams that are battling that Chelsea's definitely going to be up there next season, Man City, Liverpool again, and probably Man United pushing. So people will laugh and think Arsenal are not going to finish top 4 again. But who's to say we can't if we carry on like that?
Even in the Community Sheild game, I mean, you can see that we were really playing with confidence when you compare it to our previous games prior to that. Yesterday, we did look really confident, and, it all started from the goalkeeper all the way forward, obviously minus the missed chances by Eddie and Katia. I'm not trying to put all the blame on him, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying we did, look solid throughout, but our finishing just wasn't clinical enough. I feel like Elneny brought something really good to the team as well. He did show like strength and character, mainly in the first half.
Yeah, definitely.
The same from Saka as well. Although when I was a
little underwhelmed by Saka. Not from his attacking, defensive work. If you're gonna run that wing, you got to run it properly. You can't forget about it when you've got Robertson and Mane there. You have to be on point the whole way through, up and down, not just up. You got to be there down too. So, but Saka's always good, man. He's a new number 7. He's going to shine next season.
He will. You can see he sort of got tired in the second half as well.
Definitely.
Now, as we were talking about transfers, is there anyone in particular that you would really love to see come into Arsenal or perhaps go out?
Well, this is going to be a whole nother 30-minute video because where do I start, man? Where the obvious choice is, is it obvious? I think Socrates is time to go. Mustafi is time to go. Possibly even Kolasinac. Possibly Bellerin, as many Arsenal fans wouldn't like to hear that. I think I wouldn't want Torreira to go, but depending on if we actually keep Dani Ceballos or not, we're still waiting for that confirmation, aren't we, to see if we can sign him on.
His loan has been extended for another year.
Oh, thank God for that. So Dani Ceballos is in there. Torreira hardly gets seen now, so he'll probably be on his way out. So now we need to think of some other defenders we can bring. We can't rely on a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old and Saliba and Gabriel. But, who knows? They could come really good in an Arsenal shirt. But midfielders, the people that we've been linked with from PSG, I don't think he's coming. Iowa, can we even afford him? Partey, of course. Then you've got the cheaper option of Diawara. Can we get him? I don't know. There's so many. I can name as many names as I want to, but like I said, there's been no movement in transfers. There's been no movement in transfers, so there's literally no point of me even doing this because Arsenal fans, we keep repeating ourselves. Oh, we should get him. These guys should go out. We should get him. We should get him. We should get him. I mean, if we were the scouts and we were in charge of transfers, it would all be done by now. But we're not. So we've got to wait and see what the board are bloody doing because we're just waiting like, hello, Chelsea are doing a madness over there signing every and anyone. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Do you think it could be a case of, you know, letting all the other teams get their players or whatever, see the competition we're up against and then just announce ours literally in the last minute?
No, what do you mean the competition we're up against? We've been up against this competition last season and we failed. We can't wait to see what they're doing. We need to be 2 steps ahead and get on the job.
Well, it seems like that's the path Arsenal's taken so far.
Oh boy, it's not a good path. It's a path to self-destruction.
Well, we've got until the 5th of October. That's when the deadline is for transfers. So still got like another month of this holding out.
That's what Aubameyang's doing. He's holding out to see who else is signing. Like he's probably said to them, listen, I'm not going to sign my contract until you bring in this person, or this type of player and this type of player. Then I'm ready to commit myself to Arsenal for another 3 years or whatever it is.
Right, so you've heard it here, our thoughts on the Community Sheild, the transfers at Arsenal. Let us know what you made of that game and what you want to see in the transfer window as well. I'm Charlene Smith, this is Pippa Monique. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Two Touch.